Australians are pretty good at getting behind their own. We're happy to go off and check out the latest Baz Luhrmann flick, or sing along to the tracks that are hitting our ARIA charts. And it's time we brought that patriotism into the fashion arena. Today, OMNI and I are going to check out some of Australia's best emerging fashion designers. We'll see what they're up to, what inspires them, and where you can find them. Let's go! Our first guest started selling her designs at Gillies Street Markets in Adelaide and has come a long way from making sequin-covered pillowcases for family Christmas presents. Dancer turned fashion designer Danielle Strong has now left the pillowcases behind, but not the hand stitching.
I actually studied marketing of all things, which I guess has helped me in the long run, but in terms of fashion, no, I'm self-taught. If I make something that I think might be wonderful and it doesn't sell at the markets, I know, okay, that one's not a winner, but it lets you sort of figure out where you're going to go with your customers. I guess anybody who can sew and who likes fashion can say, hey, I want to be a fashion designer, but it's actually following that up and really pushing yourself to take that next step. Penny Ann is a cross between feminine and edgy tough. So I would probably say Penny Ann is pretty meets tough. You know, every week leading up to the markets we would madly sew and get everything pumped out for the markets. And even to this day, even though I'm about to start manufacturing, I still do all the hand detailing on my leotard. My signature piece, the backless leotard, would stem from my dancing career.
Not only is William Street home to famous designer stores such as Nudie, Tiger Lily and Colette Dinnigan, it also has a vast range of unique designer boutiques, including Valerie Tolosa.
I think the most important quality to have to actually succeed in the fashion industry is to be a people person, because you're not only trying to sell a product, you're trying to sell a dream, you're trying to sell a lifestyle to people. The first moment that I realised that I could have a career in fashion is probably when I was really young, maybe probably at the age of about 5 or 6, because my grandmother was a tailor and she specialised in wedding dresses, so I'd watch her make all these beautiful pieces, and back then I thought, well, yeah, I could actually really do this. I studied at KVB Institute of Design in North Sydney. I actually got a scholarship to go there. When I design a range, I always work with the fabric first, because with a fabric you can see what you can actually do with it. The benefits of having your own store is you can really find out firsthand from customers what they really want in terms of colours, fits, fabrics.
Jules and Tim have no doubt cruised around sunny Sydney in many a pair of sunglasses. In fact, it was their love of shades that led them down the path to creating their own eyewear range. So let's hear what they've got to say.
Well, I suppose the moment we decided we were going to start making sunglasses together, so when we were hanging out, really sick of the jobs that we had at that time, and really wanted to do something where, you know, we could be in charge ourselves, work for ourselves, have that creative freedom. I think sunglasses are definitely in demand the whole year round now. It's been sort of 5 years it's taken us to get to this point, you know, find the proper manufacturer and the designs that we're, you know, really happy with, and yeah, I think we're finally there.
And something we learned with our original collection was that people do like big black sunglasses, and we took a few risks with our previous collection. We had very bright colours and bright powder blues and that sort of thing. None of those sold at all. This whole collection we spent a lot of time and put a lot of focus on attention to detail, and so we've used a lot of different materials making up the frames. For instance, these ones have a nice leather trim going across the top. They've made combination with acetate and a metal frame. Basically, it's an all-round great sunglass that looks good on everybody.
If you wanted to find a pair of OMNI Solution sunglasses right now, you can come on down to Valerie Tolosa's store in William Street in Paddington. Otherwise, we've got the website coming up, which is www.omnsoluge.com.
A stone's throw from Paddington is one of my favourite places to shop, my house. Online browsing is one of the most effective ways of discovering your homegrown trends. Jewellery and accessories designer Tan Alridge sells her stuff online and continues to do so that she can keep up with the personal demands of her customers and avoid mass production. Online works for her because she can keep her product personalised, as opposed to having to mass produce and lose the authenticity of her brand.
My inspiration to start my own label definitely came from when I studied fashion design at TAFE in Brisbane actually, and I just saw my friends creating these pieces that were amazing, but you could only wear them, you know, once, and that was it, because they were just so crazy. So I thought if I could take pieces from those garments and, you know, just incorporate them onto other pieces, onto other garments, that you'd get more wear from them. You know, you'd be able to incorporate them in different ways, like casually with a white t-shirt, or, you know, dressed up with a little black dress, like this one here. And that's how I came to design these big, massive pieces that you can wear as a neck piece or as a shoulder feature, or, yeah, so it's definitely been inspired from you know, seeing my friends in design. I definitely always knew that I would go into accessories design. I've always wanted to create the different sections of the outfit rather than a complete outfit.
Experimentation is exactly what local Sydney designers Andy and Mark were thinking about when they developed their pop-up store concept, Dirty Laundrette.
Pop-up store is basically a unique space that we create. It's like a temporary store is the easiest way of actually explaining it. We basically have created a space for new designers to actually come and get exposure to new clientele and really get some one-on-one contact with actually their buyer. So I guess a common mistake that a lot of people actually make going into the fashion industry is that they're actually really not quite sure what's going to work. They're creating these beautiful garments and really never knowing whether or not they're going to sell, whether or not it be price or material or anything like that. So it's really creating a descriptive avenue to actually go out and release their product with no risk to them. I guess we really got inspired when we started our own label, Naked. We found it during the global financial recession that it was quite hard to actually break the fashion scene in Australia, but also internationally as well. So again, sort of we were going through the avenue of, you know, was our price point right? Were we actually getting our target demographic? Who are they? What are they wearing? All that kind of stuff. So we were really inspired by that to actually go out and get direct contact to our customer and actually make sure that we're going after the right person. So I guess the biggest benefit for a new designer actually entering the market is that there's no risk through the Dirty Laundrette pop-up stores. We're actually making sure that we cater for all the clients' needs. We're taking care of things like rent, staffing, making sure that the aesthetics of the store is fun and exciting, and that there really is this cool, exciting edge to the actual environment. I guess a lot of people don't have retail experience. My background's actually retail, my business partner's purely fashion, so together we've actually blended really, really well to create these interesting concepts.
South Australian born and bred Georgina Young is fast becoming one of Australia's most sought after milliners. At the tender age of 23, Georgie has come a long way from self-styling to selling her creations, and has even been featured in Australia's leading fashion magazines.
Always had a huge fascination for fascinators, and so I started making them, creating them and wearing them out, and people started commenting on them and going, where'd you get that from? And before I knew it, I had a client base and things were going great. Where I source all my materials from, it really comes down to the inspiration behind the materials. So it could either be something you know, from a craft or fabric store around the corner to, you know, a huge online supplier or something like that. I would say that I often find looking at the materials first, you know, fiddling with them, seeing what goes together, and then kind of creating it into something. I'm actually self-taught, so which I'm excited about. I'm doing something that I love. I love the fashion industry. I love being creative.
And there you have it. Australia has some fantastic emerging talent, and those we met today are just a handful. Don't forget, you can keep up with our fashion tips at our very own blog, myomni.com.au.